Welcome to my channel, the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Asterisk, the desert burned like a living furnace, stretching so far in every direction that even the horizon looked melted. The sun had ruled the sky for hours without mercy, turning sand into shimmering rivers of heat. And in the middle of this endless and uncaring wasteland walked a dying man named Kale. His lips were cracked. His skin was peeling, and every breath sounded like dry paper, tearing in his chest. He had walked for 2 days with no water, no shade, and no hope, and he could feel his body slowly shutting down. His vision blurred in and out, showing shapes that were not really there, dark towers, pools of water, moving shadows, but every time he blinked, they disappeared. Yet something inside him refused to stop. He kept walking, even when his legs trembled and his heartbeat slowed. The fear of dying alone in the sand pushed him forward, even though he knew he could collapse at any moment. When he finally stumbled over a dune and saw a small wooden hut resting quietly at the base of a rocky hill, he thought it was another cruel vision. The hut should not have been there, nothing should, but the shape didn't fade, and smoke curled from a tiny chimney like a whisper of life. Kale blinked again, trying to clear his eyes, and the hut remained, solid, impossible, and strangely peaceful. His heart jumped. He forced himself forward, dragging his body, crawling the last few steps, because his knees could no longer lift him. As he reached the hut, he noticed something that sent a shiver through his exhausted mind. The sand around it was untouched. No footprints, no tools, no sign of anyone coming or going. The door stood slightly open, as if waiting for him. He hesitated. His instincts whispered that something was wrong, deeply wrong, but thirst was louder. Kale pushed the door open, and as soon as he stepped inside, a chill ran down his spine. The air was cooler, almost unnaturally so, and carried a sweet scent that didn't belong to any desert plant. He took a step forward, and the wooden floor creaked beneath him. The room was dim, but full of strange objects, glowing stones, metal bowls, odd carvings on the walls. But before he could inspect anything, a low, rumbling laugh echoed from the shadows. The sound was deep and powerful, shaking dust off the ceiling. Kale froze in terror. Something moved, something large. Then she stepped into the light, a giantess, her body towering nearly to the ceiling, her skin smooth and faintly glowing like polished stone, her golden eyes locking onto him with unsettling amusement. She bent down, tilting her head as if examining a lost puppy, her long hair brushing the floor. "You came to the wrong hut, little human," she said, her voice silky but sharp, a strange mix of playful and dangerous. Kale tried to speak, but all he managed was a hoarse whisper, so he simply raised a shaky hand toward an empty cup on a nearby table. The giantess chuckled, the sound warm but mocking. "Thirsty, cute." She leaned closer, tracing his outline with a single fingertip, but too small, too weak. "Not my order. I paid for the meaty one." Her words stabbed through him like ice. Kale stumbled back, heart racing, as the giantess stepped past him and tapped a glowing crystal on the wall. The room brightened, revealing dozens of carvings, symbols, lists, and tallies etched into the wood like a strange marketplace catalog. That's when Kale understood. This hut wasn't a home. It was a collection point, a place where giant folk received deliveries. Humans weren't people to them. They were resources. Some were taken for labor, some for experiments, some for trade. And some Kale feared to be eaten. The giantess sighed, brushing dust off her hands. "The courier must be late," she said, almost casually. "He promised me a strong human this cycle, but instead—" She gestured toward Kale with a smirk. "I get you." Kale felt a wave of despair crash over him, but survival instincts. Screamed. He backed toward the door, but she moved in a single massive stride, blocking it with her arm. "Oh no," she said softly. "Leaving now would be very stupid." When Kale looked outside, he understood why. Dark shapes slithered through the sand dunes, desert beasts, large and hungry, waiting for anything weak enough to fall. "They smell dying things," the giantess said. "You'd last maybe a minute." His throat tightened. "Help me," he whispered. Something in his voice made the giantess pause. Giant folk did not care for human tears, but they did love curiosity. She crossed her arms, towering over him. "Why should I help you? What do you offer?" Kale's mind raced. He had nothing but his skills. "I can fix things," he said. "Machines, energy cores, tools." The giantess raised an eyebrow. "Machines?" She stepped aside, revealing a hidden chamber filled with strange devices, broken, sparking, humming with unstable energy. "Fix one," she said, "and maybe. I won't throw you to the beasts." Kale's heart pounded as he approached a cracked energy cylinder emitting a dangerous pulse. He forced his hands to steady, looking over the alien structure. The principles were strange, but not impossible. He found a loose stabilizer ring, a leaking conduit, and a broken connection. For 10 painful minutes he worked, using bits of metal and wire from the floor. Sweat ran down his face, his vision darkened, but finally he secured the ring. The device glowed steadily. The giantess blinked in surprise. "You actually did it," she said softly. "Maybe humans aren't as useless as they look." Kale collapsed to his knees, exhausted. The giantess knelt beside him, surprisingly gently, and lifted him onto a low stone bench. She filled a bowl with cool, fresh water from a hidden container. He had missed earlier. He drank, tears forming in his eyes from relief. The giantess sat across from him, studying him with a new expression. Not amusement, not hunger, but interest. "Listen, little human," she said. "You wandered into my hut by accident. But maybe it wasn't an accident." She tapped the wall, revealing a map etched with symbols, paths, hidden places, and human settlements marked with giant folk warnings. One symbol made Kale's blood run cold. His village. "Your people didn't disappear," she murmured. "They were taken. By my kind." Kale's heart clenched. His family, his friends, his home. She leaned close, her golden eyes glowing. "Work for me. Fix my machines. Build what I need. And in return?" She traced a path on the map leading deep into Forbidden's territory. "I will show you where they are. But understand this. Once you choose this path, you cannot return to your old life. You will see things your mind is not ready for. You will face dangers no human has survived." She smirked, but this time it held something softer. "So tell. Kale, will you die in the desert, or live in danger with me?" The desert winds howled outside as the beasts circled the hut, and the room fell silent except for the steady hum of the repaired machine. Kale looked at the map, at the giantess, at the empty desert beyond the door. And he knew the choice was already made. If you want to hear what happens next in Kale's journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment next part so I can continue the story.